How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which was down almost 10% on the day. It ended up seeing a low at $16.08. And if you remember what I talked about in my previous videos, the next area of support that we have is at 16.10. So we were just 8 cents away, but I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into tomorrow. And we also have upgrades in regards to price targets. So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, we want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important, because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $16.37, being down 9.81%. On the low, it tested $16.18, and then on the high, testing $17.45. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 41.269 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 24.723 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, but you could tell we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 32.91. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's clear to see that Lucid is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. And if you remember what I've been saying in my previous videos, if we end up breaking through the $17 level, we have the next support kicking in around $16.10. We ended up seeing a low of $16.18. So we end up breaking below $16.10. That's where we could see Lucid trading in the $15 range. If you're looking for a bullish move to the upside, we ended up seeing a high at $17.45. So you'd want to see Lucid trying to reclaim the 21-day EMA at $19.83. And what does this turn into? Yes, $20 becomes the psychological area for Lucid. So if it could reclaim 20 bucks, then I'd want to see some bulls stepping in and pushing up the stock further. But as long as it's trading below the 21-day EMA and we're seeing weakness in these markets, there's a good chance we could see Lucid testing in the $15 range this week. And if we end up having a turnaround, like I said, you want to see if Lucid can get back into the 19s. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for May the 9th, we have CTC LLC that purchased 171,381 shares. We have Cube Research and Technologies that purchased 186,951 shares. And then we also have Herald Advisors Inc. that purchased 200 shares. We have Profit and Goodson Inc. that purchased 125 shares. And then we have Forsta AP Fondon that purchased 75,000 shares. And we do see some closed position here as well. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 61.78%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 6.46 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 23 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate being at 9%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 5th, it was at 67.22, and then for the close of the 6th being at 61.78. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 19.01%, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it was at 92.79 million, and then on the outflow, it's at 104 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 1.68 million. On the medium, it was 49.21 million, and then on the small, it was 41.90 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 3.04 million. On the medium, it was 60.31 million, and then on the small, it was 40.37 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, May the 9th, we had that outflow negative 1.36 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then for the large, represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.48%. So this is a bit higher than what we're normally used to. It usually trades in the low 1% range. I'm not surprised about that. We saw a lot of volatility in the markets, and plus we sold off for the whole entire day, and that's why we saw pullbacks across the entire market. So let's move on to the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, before we start talking about the price action, let's talk about the changes in the price target. So we had Citigroup that came out and gave Lucid a price target of $36. This is from their previous price target of $45. So what does that show us? There's still a good amount of upside in the play. But one thing I want to be clear about, these analysts are always making changes, so please don't just base your investment decisions on that. But from what it's looking like, again, a lot of upside considering where Lucid is trading at. As far as for the price action now, since we did not test support at $16.10, if we end up having some weakness going into tomorrow, I'm looking for us to actually test that level, break right through it, and then we can start trading at around $15.70 or even around $15.80. And then of course I do another video to see where we would go from there. But again, this is just assuming if we continue to see some weakness. If the market decides to pick up and we see some more buying pressure coming into tech, then I want to see Lucid at least getting to the 21-day EMA, which is around $19.83. So we know that $20 is a psychological area. And you know what? This is a lot to ask. This is a fairly big move from where the price of where it's currently trading at. So I want to make sure that you're keeping your expectations in line. I'm not expecting this type of movement for this week. I have to be honest with you guys. But there is that possibility if we see some strength in the market, we could see Lucid probably trying to make an effort to get to around $19 at the most. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, institutions have continued to be loading up on shares. And then taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. There's shorts vested all over this play. We could see there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty inside of these markets. We were trading it today inside of the Discord, and all I see is selling pressure. On every pump that we get, bulls come in, then we have the bears just coming in. I'm like, nah, it's not going to be happening. But one thing I want to let you guys know though, we ended up playing Nvidia puts inside of the Discord, and we were able to buy these puts at $45, and we ended up selling them at $100. Some people sold it at $120. I'll put up some screenshots and so forth. But I just want to let you guys know, no matter what the market conditions are, if you're trading and you're doing your homework, you can make money. And I want to make sure I'm being very clear about that, because I tell you guys in all my videos, protect your profits. Have a strategy. And if you need help in regards to being with other traders that could help you up your game, or you want to make some money in these markets while it's going through all that volatility, I highly suggest that you join us. Again, you will learn a lot, and of course, you'll be able to have direct access to me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how Lucid performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.